And so, and Powell's not exactly got a great track record in those knockout situations at the end of the year. So that's why I worry about that. But I think they're going to be good this year. I think they're going to be more fun to watch. The Stefan Ratchford testimonial absolutely makes me think that what I've just said is complete bollocks, because they look just like the team last year. But that was a pre-season game, really. And yeah, they were completely outplayed by Wigan in the first half, and when they did get some chances on Wigan's line, they did not look threatening at all. But that'll fix itself out. Honestly, I think Widdop and Williams could be the best halfback partnership in the league. Darryl Clark is absolutely fantastic. The one worry is if they get an injury to more than one of those three players at any point. Stefan Ratchford can cover for one, and they can mix things around a bit then at the back. But I don't think they've got enough to cover for two. But we're not hoping for injuries here at this stage of the season. So I'm hoping for them all to stay fit all year, and for them to actually be quite fun to watch, but ultimately fall short. Because it's funny, isn't it, when they do? But Wire fans, I've got you finishing top of the league. Second place was the runner-up in the grand final last year, the League Leaders Shield winners last year, the Catalans Dragons. Only Catalans fan to vote was Alan Walker, and of course, as always, he had them winning everything. And you might have guessed as well, guys, he was behind the Matthew Laguerre Man of Steel pick too. Shocker. But we do enjoy Alan's contributions, even though some of them are. Maybe he spent a few too many hours on the beach in the sun, and then had a few too many Astrayas on his way home. But but Sarah thinks they're going to finish first, go back-to-back League Leaders Shield winners. It's not out of the realms of possibility, is it? With what they've done to replace what they've lost, they've basically brought in only three players into what was a very successful squad last year. Okay, one of them is a halfback, that's a key change, but all three players they brought in are all NRL Grand Final winners. Yeah, they might all have slight character question marks, but they're all NRL Grand Final winners. Yeah. But I've got them finished in third in the regular season. I just think last year was so impressive. I think this year they might be a bit more, not up and down, but not quite as great during the regular season. They'll want to try and time it better, and I think they might get back to the grand final again.
They'll be buggered if they have to play all the games this year, won't they?
Well, so will you. I'm fairly sure you played less than them last year.
Yeah, probably one actually.
But where do you see them? Where do you see them going this year, David?
Cancelled was. Yeah, I think I've got them finishing second again. I don't acknowledge them winning the Shield last year. It's only because they didn't turn up at Wire, and they never got fined for it. Anyway, so. Yeah, I've got them finishing second. I think they've added...
Yeah, because if our government can break the law...
Yeah, exactly.
Then why can't the Catalans get on planes when they've got COVID?
Exactly.
Oh.
I think they've added quality. I think they've got a really good pack and very good backs. They will be very difficult to beat at home, particularly if half the opposition can't turn up because they've not been vaccinated. I don't know.
Yeah.
The big issue.
It is.
I see them, being right up there again. Wouldn't be surprised if they finished first in the regular season. I see them being extremely competitive. They'll be very tough. I cannot wait. I had a ticket for Liverpool versus Leicester. Bizarrely, that game is on the Thursday night that Saints are playing Catalan. I've had to give it up because there's no way I'm missing Saints and Catalan for the opening game of the season on Thursday the 10th. It will be an absolute bell ringer, I think.
Yeah, dead exciting to look forward to, and only, 9 days away now as we're recording? Alan, what do you think about Catalans this year?
In Mac Banana we trust. I have them third. I think they've brought in good players. Just like-for-like replacements, or kind of quality improvements in certain ways. Yeah, but I do think they'll kind of temper their kind of approach this year, rather than being chased. I think they'll be the chasers, and I have a feeling they're going to finish third, beat Warrington in the playoffs, and go to the grand final and win it all. That's my prediction.
Oh, that would be a nice sort of alternate to Wigan surprising me. That would be. Look, that means there's only one team left to talk about. You might have expected we'd get to this place, given that they've, been the best team really overall for the last 4 years, with Wigan being better than them a little bit at times, and Catalans having the edge on them in a fantastic, amazing Magic Weekend 5 minutes. But it's St Helens. They were grand final winners last year, of course, cup winners last year, but second in the league. David, you've got them to go one better and win the treble this year.
The treble, quadruple, everything, including, as I said, the Eurovision Song Contest.
So who's going to be like? What is the setup for the song contest? Is it going to be a pop group, a rock group? Is it a solo artist? Who have you got up there?
We could do anything.
Because it won't be Christian Wolff, will it? Because the last thing he would be is the great entertainer.
He could play drums, mate. He'll play drums. He's got the.
He can keep a steady rhythm, yeah.
He absolutely has got rhythm to get the Saints going, mate.
No one gets up and dances to it, but it's steady.
It works, is what it does. It works. So we've lost. In Lachlan Coote, we've lost a great player who's been very, very good for the Saints over the last few years. We've also lost Bentley and Farge, although Farge didn't play after the cup final after he did his shoulder. And Bentley, we've already talked about, so I won't bore you by doing that again. None of the rest of the guys that have gone out of it's all fringe stuff.
Well, Nkwama.
Sorry?
Nkwama was the man of the match in the grand final.
Yeah, sorry, sorry, that's my mistake. You're right, Kevin Nagama.
I snuck him on the end after all those sort of squad players, though. Yeah,
he was really, really good in the grand final. He's been a pretty damn decent player for us over the last couple of years.
David, I have a weird feeling. Right, I have a weird feeling, and I might be wrong because I've not gone back and watched the tapes because I respect my mental health.
You wouldn't do. Yeah.
Did he score with his first ever touch and his last ever touch? Because he went off injured, didn't he, in that grand final? He didn't play the last 20 minutes or so. And I'm fairly sure he scored about 5 minutes into his 5 or 10 minutes into his debut against us as well.
He did. That's a really niche bit of fact. Mark. Yes, he did.
Neil Alston, fact check that for us. You might not have it on your stats spreadsheets, but you'll have it somewhere.
I think you're right. So we've lost some good players, but we've got some decent players in. I think Lussick is going to provide better cover for Roby, who continues to be a machine, but we'll need to give him a little bit better cover than the young guys we've had in Eaves and Smith over the last couple of years. I think he'll do that. Still haven't seen Turunen play because he's been stuck in Italy on with COVID rules and so on. But what I was really impressed with was Will Hopewati in the friendly game. He's a very different player to Nagama. Taller, slimmer, but he's quicker. He looks like he's going to cover a lot of positions for us. It looks like he can play halves, fullback. So I'm quite hopeful that he's going to give us the sorts of balanced experience that we need. I think we're probably slightly stronger because I'm hoping, there's a risk, isn't there? But we're certainly hoping that our young guys are going to kick on this year and make us very competitive. Will we win it? Who knows? But it's that time of season where we like to be optimistic, and I'm going to say we're going to win the lot.
Yeah, the risk is the half-back cover, isn't it? It's not really there, but at the same time, you've got, Lussick can play in the halves if at a stretch. You've got Wellesby can step up into the halves and Hopewati go into fullback very comfortably. So there is some manoeuvrability there. You've replaced what you've lost well. Other than that, you're relying on those two kids to be the superstars that they threaten to be.
I think that's right. I think we've taken a gamble that these kids are going to show what we think they can do. We'll wait and see. That'll be the proof of the pudding. It'll either work or it won't. That's sport for you, which is what makes it so compelling.
Yep. We'll give what a few other Saints fans said as well. All but two St Helens predictors had them finishing top, and all but two had them winning the grand final, and over half of them had them winning the cup. And in all, David, you're one of 6 St Helens fans who predicted a treble for your side. But to be honest, that's not. It's not too much of a shock because you've been very good. Mike Webb expects a little bit stronger than last year and another asterisk from jealous rival fans. Paul Caswell said, Saints squad is so strong, don't be surprised if they win everything. Chris said to win the Challenge Cup, but he expects them to win the Challenge Cup but lose the Super League semi-final following a late season injury crisis. And Michael Darwin expects the same as the last 4 seasons, total professional performances week in, week out, to be involved in both finals and win them to finally win the treble. Well, you went totally professional 4 seasons ago. Not fullback. But anyway, I get the sentiment, Michael, completely. I've got Saints finishing second. Obviously, we've done everyone else, so we know what I've said for everyone else. I just think that there might be a few games where they have to think about injuries and protecting players a little bit more, because whilst the squad isn't thinner overall, I do think there's a few key instances. Halfback is one. I do think the wings is another question mark position to an extent as well, and obviously the big one, Walmsley. So they'll have to protect around that a bit. I think they might choose to lose some game, not choose to lose them, but choose to put themselves in a threatening position in some games. And I also think you might not be taking your best side to France 3 times, so we'll see what goes on there. Sarah thinks second as well. Alan, I guess we can guess that you're going to say first after what we've been through, but
yes, I haven't picked 2 teams finishing second. I've got them finishing first. I think their squad is marginally weaker than last year. I think they've either replaced Curtis Sirenen with Joel Thompson, for example. I think they could be next to each
Bell
other.
Is a good swap as well. Yeah.
I just think they're kind of, those two particularly, almost exactly the same player. I do think in some areas you're getting slightly worse. I don't think Hopewati is as good as Nagama, personally. Hopewati is a little bit more flexible.
Yeah, but Hurrell.
Yeah.
Hopewati and Hurrell together with their best qualities.
Yeah, if you put both players together, you might have one.
Hurrell might be a good shout for being involved in the Eurovision, though.
Yeah,
he likes to dance and stuff, doesn't he?
I've got a feeling we might see Hurrell on the wing early doors, because Grace is injured for a couple of weeks, I think. So I've got a feeling we might see him as on the wing.
Oh, you'll see a few kicks in behind then. I would say Saints are marginally weaker. I think that you're right in that they're reliant on young players, but those young players have previously stood up and done very well. Even though they're marginally weaker, I think their squad is still better than anybody else's. So consistency, I have them first. But as I've said before, I think they'll just miss out on the big prizes this year. I don't rate Wolf as a coach. I never have. I think he's relied on previous exploits, and I think if the going gets tough, I haven't seen him really have to pull a team together. So I have them just missing out on everything this year, because I don't want to fall, Pete.
No coach walked into a better situation than he did in Super League.
No, he absolutely got kissed on the to be in that job. Absolutely.
Maybe McDermott when he walked into Leeds, maybe, but he still did amazing stuff. And Wolf has done trophy-wise, hasn't he? Okay, that is our team-by-team Super League.
Wolf's produced the best defence that I've ever seen in Super League. I think it's unbelievable, the defence that he's put together. I'll put my hand up and say it's clearly not got the attacking excitement that we traditionally associate, like to watch at St Helens, but by God, his defence is